Page 112. Page 112. Please rise. Lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. Through your great love, O God, I enter your house. With awe I worship in your sanctuary. Eternal God, I love the house where your glory dwells. Humbly I worship before my God and Maker. May my prayer be acceptable to you, eternal God. In your great kindness, answer me with your saving truth. Eternal God of mystery surrounds my life. What came before it and what lies beyond it are shrouded in darkness. But in the darkness is your presence, and in the mystery your love. No mind can grasp the splendor of your being. No tongue express the majesty of your works. Yet there are times when we sense a reality that is beyond our mortal sight. May this Sabbath be such a time for us. Help us to hear your voice, to find your image in our souls, and to be at peace. Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. Ata berata, eta yetzata, ata nefachta bi, ve'ata meshamra b'kirbi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. Together, my God, the soul you have given me is pure. You have created and formed it and breathed it into me, and you sustain it within me. So long as there is a soul within me, I will give thanks to you, Eternal One, my God and God of my ancestors, sovereign of all worlds, guide of every human soul. We praise you, O God, in whose hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. We continue, Baruch She'amah V'haya Ha'olam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, HaMechulal B'fi Amo, Meshubach Umfo'ah Bilshon Chasidav Va'avadav, Bishvachot Uvizmirot, V'gadeh Lecha V'namlichecha, Malkeinu Yachid Chei HaOlamim, Baruch Atah Adonai, Melech Mechulal B'tishbach. To you the stars of morning sing. From you their radiance bright did spring, and steadfast in their vigils day and night. Your angels, flooded with fervor, ring your praise. They teach the holy ones to bring into your house the breath of early light. The heavens declare the glory of God. Day unto day utters speech. Yet there is no speech, there are no words. And still, their call goes out to all the earth. God's teaching is perfect. God's word is unfailing. God's precepts are right. God's commandments are clear. God's doctrine is pure. God's guidance is true. They are more to be desired than gold, than any amount of fine gold. Your servant pays heed to them. Who is aware of errors? Hold back your servant also from willful sins. Then I shall be blameless. Together may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Anim zmira v'shirim erok, ki elecha nafshi taharok. Nafshi chimda b'tzel yadecha, l'da'at kol rasodecha. Midei dabri b'chvodecha, omeli b'heldodecha. Yerav nasichi alecha, ki nafshi taharok elecha. Together, Yishtabach Shimcha la'ad malkeinu, ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol v'ha'kadosh b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Ki lecha na'er Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu, shir u'shvacha, Hallel v'zimra, brachot v'hodaot me'ata ve'adolam. Baruch ata Adonai, habocher b'shirei zimra. On page 135. Baruchu et Adonai hamvorach. Praise the one to whom our praise is due. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam, yotzer uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam, yotzer uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam, yotzer uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. Together we praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, Maker of light and Creator of darkness, Author of peace and Creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it, and in your goodness you renew creation continually, day by day. How manifold are your works, O God! With wisdom have you made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. The radiant stars bear witness to your glory. Praise you, O God, Creator of light. We continue. Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu. Chemla Gedola V'Teira Chamalta Aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu Ba'avor Avotenu Shabatachu V'cha. Vatlamdeim Chukei Chaim. Kain Tochonenu Utalamdeinu. V'teim Bilibenu Lahavin Ulahaskil. Lishmoa Lilmod Ulalmeid. Lishmor V'Laasot Ulkayem. Et kol divrei Toratecha be'achava, Beha'e enenu b'toratecha, v'dabek libenu b'mitzvotecha, v'yached levavenu le'achava u'lira et shemecha, kivanu v'rachata li'achedecha ba'achava, Baruch ata Adonai, aboche ba'amo Yisrael be'achava. Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shen Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shen Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Va'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol ma'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'shautam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha tabtam al mezuzot beitecha urish arech. Please be seated. Ma'an tizkeruhu v'asitehem eko mitzvotai v'tem kadoshim le'Elohehem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. Good and beautiful and true, sound, established, and enduring are these words, now and forever. True it is, Eternal One, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer. As you were the God and Redeemer of our ancestors, you are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song. Mi chamocha balim Adonai, mi chamocha nedabakonet, nora tehilot osefele. A new song the redeemed sang to your name at the shore of the sea. With one accord they gave thanks and proclaimed your sovereignty. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. So Yisrael, Uma bezrat Yisrael, Go'aleinu Adonai, Tzevaot Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael, Gal Yisrael, Yisrael. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita kilatecha. Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי אגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanura, El Elyon. Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imachot, u'Mevi Gula livnei v'neihem, lema'an Shemo be'ahava. Melech Hoseh u'Mashiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, ve'Ezrat Sarah. Gibor le'olam Adonai, Machayei meitim ata rab lechoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hageshem, Mazriach hashemesh u'morid hatal. Asurim u'makayem emunato l'shenei afar. Chamocha ba'gevurot u'mido melach. Ta'ala hachayot meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Machayei haMeitim. We sanctify your name on earth. As in the prophet's vision, the hosts of heaven sing your praise above. For so it is written. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Malach kol haaretz, Kavodo, Kavodo ma'leolam. Baruch kavod Adonai mimakomo. From your concealment, majestic one, reveal yourself and rule over us, for you are our hope. Loch Adonai leolam, Elohai Tzion, ledovado, hallelujah. Ledovado nagid godlecha, ulenetzach netzachim kedushatecha nagdish. V'shivchecha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Yismachu b'malchutecha, Yismachu b'malchutecha, shomerei Shabbat v'korei honeg. Am kachei Shavi'i, kulam yisbahu v'yitanuku mituvecha. V'hashivihi ratzita bo v'kidashto. V'hashivihi ratzita bo v'kidashto. Chemdat yamim oto karata zecher l'maaseh v'reishi. We continue to the end of the Amidah together. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu, Ritzei v'imnuchatenu, Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkenu b'toratecha. Sabenu mituvecha, v'samchenu b'shuatecha. V'taheh libenu le'ovtecha be'emet. V'chanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, Be'achava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha. Pianuchu va Yisrael mekadshei shemecha. Baruch ata Adonai makadesh hashabbat. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amacha Yisrael. Utefila tam ba'ahavat kabel. Utekilat son tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch ata Adonai she'otzecha levadecha b'yira na'avod. Modi manachnu lach. She'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu le'olam va'ed. So chayenu magein yishenu ata hu ledor v'ador. Nodeh lecha u'nesapeh tekilatecha. Al chayenu hamasurim biadecha. Ba'al nishmotenu habakodot lach. Ba'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu. Ba'al niflotecha v'tovotecha. Shebachol eitz erev v'voker v'tzoharayim. Baruch ata Adonai. Atov shimcha u'lahana lechodot. Grant peace, welfare, and blessing, grace, love, and mercy to us and to all Israel, your people. As a loving parent, bless us with the light of your presence. For by the light of your presence, eternal God, you have revealed to us the law of life, a love of kindness and righteousness, blessing and mercy, life and peace. For it is good in your sight that your people Israel and all peoples be blessed at all times with your gift of peace. We praise you, O God, source of peace. Say shalom, bimroma. Uyaseh shalom aleinu. Le'akol Yisrael. Le'akol say shalom, bimroma. Say shalom aleinu. Le'akol Yisrael. Le'akol bnei Adam. May the Most High, source of perfect peace, grant peace to us, to humankind. May the Most High source of perfect peace, grant peace to us, to all Israel, to humankind. Oh, say shalom, say shalom, oh, say shalom. It's lovely. when one has the rabbinic authority, and I'll talk a bit more about that later, be able to sing whatever tune one likes. That tune was written by a number of young people within our liberal Jewish youth movement when Mum and Dad were running Kadima, as it was then holiday school. Now it's a summer camp run by LJY Netzer. But as I looked around as well, I realised there's quite a few of us who have experienced that. And indeed, over the summer, so many from our Cheder, our young people, who went and experienced that too. It feels like a real sense of continuity. It's very special at moments like that as well. And also, I heard the news that one of our peers, Mike Solomon, who I grew up with at Kadima, both as a fellow Kadimite and also as a supervisor, died last night. And lifelong members of Harrow and Wembley Synagogue. And as well, it felt a little bit appropriate just to try to bring a little bit of peace from here through to Harrow and Wembley to his own community in Belsize Square as well. And hopefully for each one of us who didn't know Mike or anyone to enjoy a piece of music that you may not have known, but something written which is a very liberal Jewish tune. To do something rather liberal Jewish as well, which is to do something slightly different to the norm we do. If you turn to page 341, sorry to keep you on tenterhooks, Hilton, who is reading Torah today. We have some wonderful special themes within our Siddur, our prayer book, given themes by the Torah portion of the week. It wasn't just because I knew we'd have a QC in the house today, but I thought that we would actually read this special reading on justice. But actually, sometimes it feels like we need a little bit more justice in our world. And so please do join with me as we enjoy these themed readings around the theme of this week's Torah portion of justice. Tzedek tzedek tirdof l'ma'an tichye v'yarashta et ha'aretz. Asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach. Justice, justice shall you follow, so that you may live and take possession of the land which the Eternal One your God is giving you. Let's read together. Justice, along with love and compassion, is chief among God's moral attributes, and therefore chief among the qualities God demands of human beings in their conduct towards one another. There is no contradiction between the two principles. Justice, it has been said, requires that human rights should be respected. Love, that human needs should be satisfied. But the converse is also true, and it is a matter of justice that we should love our neighbour no less than we love ourselves. The Eternal One is just and loves justice. You shall not steal, you shall not deceive or lie to one another. You shall not pervert justice, either by favouring the poor or by deferring to the great. Shame on those who add house to house and join field to field, till there is room for none but you to live in the land. Cease to do evil, learn to do good. Hate evil and love good, and establish justice in the gate. The world stands on three pillars: justice, truth, and peace. Justice, justice shall you follow. The plain sense of the repetition is that we should be just both in what we say and in what we do. When people are just in their words, it is a sure sign that they are also just in their deeds. Those who study and teach Torah observe and practice it, but when they are able to, protest against injustice, fail to do so, are included among those of whom Scripture says, "Cursed be those who do not uphold the words of this Torah." To be just is to be angry when justice is violated. To be just is to wish that the guilty be convicted and the innocent acquitted. To be just is to listen to all opinions. To be just is to demand justice for others as well as yourself. To be just is to desire that the rights of all shall be respected. To be just is to disbelieve that the rich deserve to be rich and the poor deserve to be poor. To be just is to reverence the divine image in every human being. Be with us, O God, when we strive to do your will. Teach us to see that the men and women about us are our brothers and sisters, and fill us with an ardent love for all your creatures, that we may never wrong them or exploit them, or take advantage of anyone's weakness or strength. Kindle in us a passion for righteousness. Grant us the vision to see that only justice can endure, and that only in being just to one another can we make our lives acceptable to you. May our thoughts and our deeds hasten the time when wrong and violence shall cease, and justice will be established throughout the world.
Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. Turn to page 490 for our Torah service. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear and learn to revere the Eternal One your God, and observe faithfully all the precepts of this Torah. And let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere the Eternal One your God. Please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Eloheinu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai Ti and Romama Shemo Yakdav. Let us magnify the Eternal One. Together let us exalt God's name. Atiferet v'hanetza v'hahod yichod b'shamayim u'va'aretz lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'hamid na'aseh lecho Don't worry about that. Do you want to speak first? Or do you want Marsha to do the...
No, talk first.
In a second.
Our Sidra for the Shabbat is the Sidra Shoftim. Can be normally translated as judges. In the Chumash, I see they translated as magistrates. Comes from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16, starting verse 18. Book of Deuteronomy means, from the Greek, second law. In rabbinic literature, it's known as Mishneh Torah, which also means a second law. And the Sidra deals with judicial procedures and practices, the section Aaron just added to the service on justice, the opening sentence, Tzedek Tzedek Tirdof, forms part of this week's Sidra, justice, justice shall you pursue. The portion then goes on to talk about if the children of Israel want to appoint a king, that it must be someone that God chooses. And it's interesting, the Torah gives two instructions for the king. One, they must not gather for themselves too many horses. And secondly, they must not take the people of Israel back to Egypt. It then goes on to set up the Kohanim, the priesthood. It talks about deviant worship, which forms part of this week's portion. If someone strays from the Torah, worships other gods, they are to be taken to the gates and stoned. It also shows how, obviously, Book of Deuteronomy being a later book than the other books, shows how the life of the Israelites has evolved from the tribal sanctuaries to a central sanctuary, because we are told in the section I'm going to read that if there is a judgment that is too great, or case rather, that is too great for the judges at the time to decide on, they are then to go to the central sanctuary, to the Levitical priests and the judge at the time, and seek justice and seek an answer from them, seek their guidance. We then have a fairly strange thing for the Torah, the Arei HaMiklat, the cities of refuge. The children of Israel are told to set up 3 cities of refuge for people who may be guilty of manslaughter, where they can then go and seek refuge and they will not be killed by the families of the people whom they may have killed inadvertently. And finally, we have the laws of war, that firstly, who can go to war? If you are, according to the Torah, if you're recently engaged, you don't go to war because you might get killed and not be able to spend some time with your wife. If you've just bought a house, you've just planted a vineyard, you don't go to war because you might not be able to, you might get killed and not be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Or also, if you were too frightened, you didn't have to go. Also tells us that if you are about to conquer a city, you first offer them peace. And if they will accept your peaceful accord, they will become your servants. If not, if you go to war, you kill the men, but you can keep the women and children alive and take them. The reading can be found in the Chumash on page 1456. That's in the plough, the red and the blue. If you've got this one, if it's not on page 456, which is Deuteronomy 16:18, if you've got this one, it's 1294. But first, our blessings.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher B'Karbanu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. שופטים ושוטרים תיתן לך בכל שעריך אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך לשבטיך. Judges and officers or police, because in modern Hebrew a shoter today is a policeman, so shotrim would be policemen. Judges and officers shall you set up for yourself in your gates, which the Lord your God is giving you for your tribes. V'shaftu et ha'am mishpat tzedek, and they shall judge the people justly. Lo tateh mishpat, they shall not pervert justice. Lo takir panim, they shall not show partiality to anyone. V'lo tikach shochad, and they shall not take a bribe. Ki hashochad ye'ever enei chachamim v'salef divrei tzadikim. Because a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and distorts the words of the just. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof, leman tichyeh, justice shall you pursue in order that you shall live. V'yirashte et haaretz asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach, and inherit the land which the Lord your God is giving you. Lo titalacha asher ra kol eitz eitzel mizbech Adonai Elohecha asher ta'aseh lach. You shall not plant a post or any kind of tree next to the altar of the Lord your God which you will set up. V'lo takim lecha matzeva asher saneh Adonai Elohecha. Neither shall you set up a stone. A matzeva today is actually the word we use for a tombstone. So neither shall you set up some kind of tombstone, some kind of shrine, which God does not like. Lo tizbach l'Adonai Elohecha shov aseh asher yiyeh bo mum. Neither shall you offer up as a sacrifice to the Lord your God an ox or an ass that has any kind of blemish. Kol davar ra ki to'avat Adonai Elohecha hi. Any kind of evil is the way it's written, any kind of blemish, because it is an abomination to the Lord your God. Ki yimatzeh bekirbecha b'achad sha'arecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach ish o isha asher ya'aseh et hara b'einei Adonai Elohecha la'avo brito. And if there is found amongst you in any of your gates, which the Lord your God gives you, a man or a woman who has done evil in the sight of the Lord and gone against his covenant, vayelech v'yavod Elohim acherim, and has gone and worshipped other gods, vayishtachu lahem, and has bowed down to them, v'lashemesh u'layarech, to the sun or the moon, or l'chol tzva hashamayim, or to any of the hosts of heaven, asher lo tziviti, which I have not commanded you. V'hu gad lecha, and it has been told to you. V'shamata, and or you hear it. V'darashta hetev, you shall surely investigate it diligently. V'hinei emet, and if it is true, nachon hadavar, and this thing is correct, ne'estah hatoeva hazot b'Yisrael, that this abomination has been done in Israel. V'hotzeta et ha'isha hu et ha'isha hahi, asher asu et hadavar hara hazeh, el sha'arecha. Then you shall take this man or this woman who has done this evil thing to your gates. Et ha'ish or et ha'isha uskaltem bavanim v'metu. You shall take this man or this woman and you shall stone them with stones until they die. Al pi shnayim edim or shlosha edim yumatameit. You can only do this if there are 2 or more witnesses, 2 or 3 witnesses. Then you can kill them. Lo yumat al pi eid echad. You cannot kill someone on the evidence of 1 witness. Yad ha'edim tiyeh bo barishona. The hand of the witnesses shall be against them first. In other words, those that are witnesses throw the first stone. Lahamitor, to kill them. V'yad kol ha'am ba'achrona. And the hand of all the nation thereafter. Uviyata hara mikirbecha, and in that way you will sweep away the evil from your midst. Ki yipalem mimcha davar lemishpat bein dam ledam, bein din ledin, uvein nega lenega. And if there is a case that is too great for you, be it homicidal, between blood and blood, civil, din ledin, or nega lenega, or assault, divrei rivot bisharecha, a great case in your gates, then you shall get up and go to the place which the Lord your God has chosen there. Then you shall go to the Levitical priest or the judge who is sitting there in those days. And you shall explain the case to them. and tell them, et davar hamishpat, and give them the justice case. V'asita al pi hadavar asher yagidu lach, and you shall then do according to what they tell you. Min hamakomahu, from that place, asher yivcha Adonai, which God has chosen. V'shamata la'asot k'chol asher yorucha, and you must ensure that you do exactly as they teach you. Al pi haTorah asher yorucha, according to the law that they teach you. V'al hamishpat, or the judgment, asher yomru lach, that they give you. Ta'aseh, you shall do. Lo tasur min hadavar asher yagidu lecha yamin u'smol, you shall not deviate from their justice to the left or to the right. Va'ish asher yaseh b'zadon levilti shamua el hakohen ha'omed lesharet sham et Adonai Elohecha, or el hashofet. And the person who is so presumptuous so as not to listen to the word of the priest who is standing there to serve the Lord your God, or the judge, v'meta ishahu, that person shall be put to death. Uviyata haram Yisrael, in that way you will sweep evil from the midst of the Israelites. V'chol ha'am yishma'u v'yira'u v'lo yazidun od, and all the people shall listen and shall fear and not be presumptuous anymore.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chaye olam natab tokenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha-Torah.
Amen.
Please rise. Please be seated. We'll have some more thoughts in a few moments about how we get from that kind of justice to the kind of justice we have within at least our religious context. But now we move on to a haftarah from the prophet Isaiah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bocha b'nviim tovim uvratza b'divrechem hane'emarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nviei ha'emet b'tzedek.
Okay, this is from Isaiah 51, and it's the fourth of the 7 Haftarot of consolation, which we read between Tisha B'Av and Rosh Hashanah. I am the one who comforts you. What is wrong with you that you are afraid of mortals, of human beings who become like grass, that you forget the eternal your Maker, who spread out the heavens and established the earth? All day long you're in terror of the fury of an oppressor, intent on your destruction. Yet where is the oppressor's fury? Neither death nor the grave for you who bend low. You shall be free and lack nothing. For I am the eternal your God. I stir up the sea and make its waves roar. God of heaven's hosts by name. I have put my words in your mouth and sheltered you with my hand. I spread out the heavens and established the earth. I say to Zion, you are my people. Rouse yourself, rise up, Jerusalem. You have drunk from the Eternal's hand the cup of wrath, and drained to the dregs the bowl that made you stagger. She has none to guide her. Of all her children she bore, none to take her by the hand of all the children she raised. These 2 things have befallen you, devastation, destruction. Who will console you? famine and sword, who can comfort you? On every street corner, your children lie senseless like antelopes in a net, glutted with the wrath of the Eternal, your God's rebuke. Therefore, listen to this, you who are afflicted, drunk but not with wine. Thus says the Eternal One, your sovereign, your God who defends you, I am taking from your hand the cup of staggering. No more shall you drink from the bowl of my wrath. I will put it into the hands of your tormentors, those who said, lie down for us to trample you, so that you made your backs like the ground, like a street for passers by. For thus says the Eternal One, as you were sold for nothing, so you shall be redeemed without money. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of the herald who brings good tidings, who proclaims peace, the messenger of good tidings who proclaims deliverance, who says to Zion, your God reigns. Listen, your sentinels raise their voices. Together they shout for joy, for with their own eyes they see the return of God to Zion. Together break out in a paean of praiseful joy, you ruins of Jerusalem. The Eternal comforts your people and redeems Jerusalem. The Eternal has bared the holy arm in the sight of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sukkah ha'olamim tzaddik b'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'ha'oseh ha'medaber u'mekayim shechol davarot emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'neviim ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך, ומברכים אותך. יתברך שמך בפי כל תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen.
Quiet. Please rise. I tell you what, with Torah services as inspirational as that, I'm coming every week. We turn to page 493 and let us read together. Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our sovereign lady, Queen Elizabeth, and all their royal family, for those who govern our country and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will.
May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity.
Misha Berach Avotenu Ve'imotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all our brothers and sisters of the house of Israel, who enter synagogues to pray and to give aid to those in need. May the Holy One, to whom all praise is due, hear their prayers and help them to fulfill their aspirations for goods. And together, eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbours, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision that out of Zion shall go forth Torah, and the word of God from Jerusalem. Yehallelu et Shem Adonai, kiniskav shemo levado. To al eretz v'shamayim v'yarem keren le'amo. sages wrote, Im tavo leveiti, ani avo leveitecha. God says, if you enter my house, I will enter your house. Marcia, you have come and entered God's house, and certainly you have found God enter your house. You have come and joined us and our community and been a presence within our choir with learning Hebrew, as we heard earlier on so well. But constantly learning and thirsting, seeking spirituality and a sense of belonging and community. At this moment of a special birthday, may you reflect on the success of that journey, of having walked into the doors of this home, having God entered your home, and having this community entered your life as a blessing. Misha Berach Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yevarech et Yael Chava Shalta Lichvod Hamakom V'Lichvod HaShabbat. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless Marcia, who has come up to the Torah in honor of God and of the Sabbath. May the Holy One ever to be praised bless her and her family and prosper her in all that she undertakes, together with us, your sisters and brothers of the house of Israel. And let us say, Amen. And Mazel Tov to you. This is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel in time to come, says the Eternal One. I will put my teaching within them and engrave it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. No longer shall anyone need to teach a friend or a neighbor to know me, for they all shall know me, young and old alike. Shall we put the scroll back down? Please be seated. Hilton read in one of the verses of this week's Torah, you shall act in accordance with the instructions given you and the ruling handed down to you. In fact, if I listened to Hilton, I think I normally would obey, actually. Such an authoritative voice. You must not deviate from the verdict that they announce to you, either to the right or to the left. The interpretation of this text is the authority that charged our ancient rabbis with the highest authority among our people. Maimonides elucidates, it is as if we were to read our brachot, our blessings, for rabbinic ordinations as such. Blessed be the one who has hallowed us with God's commandments, whereby the Eternal commanded that we obey those who ordained, for us the kindling of Hanukkah lights, the reading of the Book of Esther, and all other rabbinic ordinances. Of course, Hanukkah and Purim are post-Torah, so they're rabbinic inventions, and the commandment to do that are therefore humanly ordained rather than Torah and therefore God ordained. The traditional understanding is that this authority was divinely ordained. God chose the rabbis, gave them authority. In fact, if you think about it, and certainly if I think about it, the many priests, Christian ministers that I meet,
all of them, I think almost without exception, would identify a calling, would identify a moment when they were chosen. God came to me, Jesus spoke to me, whatever it is, that actual choosing of them. Of course, the reality is that the rabbis themselves gave themselves the authority, which in other instances might be deeply problematic, but we have to give them their due. Secured the future of Judaism, providing central, immutable tenets. So what if our sages err? Are they to be obeyed even when proven wrong? In the Palestinian Talmud, we read, to the right or to the left, quoting from the portion, you might think that if the sages tell you that the right is left, or the left is right, that you must obey them. The text states, to the right or to the left. When they tell you the right is right and the left is left. In other words, of course, when they get it right, you follow them. If they're completely erroneous, well. Our sages founded and transmitted Judaism. We are to follow them, except when they are fatefully wrong. So is immutable law everlasting? What our earliest sages established, does it hold for all time? Hilton also read in the Torah this morning, you should come to the Levitical priests and to the judge or magistrate or perhaps officers or policemen, I bow to your knowledge, in charge at that time and present your problem. This was interpreted as follows in the Talmud. Could you really think that one would go and consult the judge not living in their time? You must be content with the judge ruling in your time. And it quotes from the book of Ecclesiastes from the Bible, do not say, how is it that the former days were better than these? I wonder the last time we said that. Torah and our tradition is based on contemporary interpretation. That is immutable. We can quote the famous rabbinic tale. When Moses went up to heaven, he found the Holy One engaged in adding little decorative crowns to the letters of the Torah. If you want to come and have a look again, all of the letters are not printed just as it is in our prayer book in the Torah, but they have these beautiful little crowns, decorations on them. And often people have said, why bother? What are they there for? And this is what Moses was saying. What need is there for these? And God replied, many generations hence, a man will arise, Akiva ben Joseph by name, who will deduce heaps of interpretations from every detail of these crowns. In other words, lots of Bubba-Misers, lots of wisdom, lots of anything you can get from them, but giving lots of meaning to them. Moses said, let me see him. God responded, turn around. And Moses went and sat at the back of Rabbi Akiva's class, having travelled through time. Unable to understand what was being said in the classroom, his heart sank. But when the students asked about a certain law, what was its source? And Akiva replied, it is a tradition that goes back to Moses at Mount Sinai. Moses' mind was set at rest. Nahaba Leibovitz, the modern Israeli commentator, concludes her analysis of such matters. The Torah was given on Sinai, both in writing and by word of mouth, as our tradition understands it. But the responsibility for the study, understanding and application to the ever-changing human situation must be placed fairly and squarely on the individual concerned, on the religious authorities of the generation. Hence the commandment, you must not deviate from the verdict that they announce to you, either to the right or to the left. Rabbinic authority has seen Judaism successfully transmitted through millennia. As it states in the Mishnah from 200 CE, Moses passed on the Torah to Joshua, and from Joshua to the elders, and the elders to the prophets, and the prophets to the members of the Great Assembly, who were the rabbis. and from them to the roll call of every generation of rabbis throughout the world. Accepting the Haredi community, the ultra-Orthodox community, where what the rabbi says goes, rabbinic authority has altered. Whilst rabbinic ordination is a grave matter, and many an individual will feel truly blessed by God, few would say that they are chosen by God, that their rabbinate is divinely ordained. In fact, I think I might even be a little bit suspicious if they did. The contemporary rabbi's authority rests on their powers of persuasion, perhaps enhanced by perceived vitality of their scholarship, morality in theory and practice, and their piety. The truth is that we are fallible human beings, and our tradition knows that and provides safeguards. When it matters, as we heard earlier as well, authority does not lie with an individual or an individual rabbi. A minimum of 3, when it comes to a Beit Din, is needed. Within whose hands does authority in religion lie? Today it is in each of our hands. Rabbi Leah, Cantor Tamara and I are blessed to be your clergy, to guide and nurture, educate and support, but not to authorize. We all educate ourselves as best we can to make decisions in our lives. The same with our religious life. Rabbis and cantors and educators support that endeavor. We weigh up what our clergy pronounce, supporting the transmission of the Judaism we hold dear. And when we enter the conversation, not rabbis, but you, we all become part of its authority that continues to draw us in, as it did for congregation led by generations of rabbis. Before them, the prophets, the elders, Joshua and Moses. Being part of the conversation is to consider the right and the left, to follow rabbinic leadership, and at times when one discerns the need, to challenge it. We clergy welcome such dialogue, and it only reinforces our desire to serve. Indeed, we prefer the intervention than for our fallibilities to cause harm. Considered contrariness is as much a part of our people's development, such a strength, and at times in our history, vital. We must have the authority to speak out. This sensibility is what made me proud of 2 of our 3 local Conservative MPs this week, who chose to speak out, to be contrary, and challenge the wisdom of government to sit direction. There is much gloom about us, but always a glimmer of hope. Always a glimmer of hope when we practice considered contrariness. Eternal One, you place in our hands the power of discernment and religious authority. May we use it to find good teachers, direct our efforts for growth, and to seek that which is good, so we may be part of the tradition that defines left and right. Amen. Let us move to our concluding prayers now on page 519. Page 519, and please rise. And together, Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen va'amen. Baruch Adonai Elohim, Elohei Yisrael, Osei Niflaot Levado. Baruch Shem Kavodo Le'olam, Yemalech Kavodo et Kol Haaret. Amen va'amen. The eternal God shall rule over all the earth. On that day the eternal God shall be one and known to be one. May your love, O God, rest upon us as we rest our hope in you. All the nations that you have made shall come and bow down before you, and honour your name. Let God be praised by day. Let God be praised by night. Let God be praised when we lie down. Let God be praised when we rise. And God in heaven, let your unity be acknowledged and your sovereignty established forever. Reign over us now and always. Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Page 522. As we worship before you, O God, we think of those who once shared with us the joys and burdens of life, and who are no longer in our midst. The sorrow of bereavement is softened by the bond of love which continues to unite us with our dear ones, and by our cherished memories of them, which we will always carry in our hearts. May all that was good in their lives remain with us as an influence for good. On this Shabbat, we recall the art sites of Benjamin Ellis, the father of Hilton, Bert Herman, the father of Steve and grandfather of Ed and Jess, David Berman, the father of Deborah Boffey and husband of Pat, David Lambert, the husband of Barbara, father of Judy and Clive, grandfather of Ed, Jess, Harry and Lily, the mother of Barbara Lambert, and Lily Smith, the mother of Barbara Lambert, and grandmother of Judy and Clive. Of Miriam Veal, the mother of Carol Kettle. Harold David Stone, the father of Mum, Phil and Graham. Of Saul Soller, the father of Janine Leppard and grandfather of Jared and Brooke. Of Shirley Krasner, the mother of Sue. Of Trixie Drapkin, the mother of Neil Drapkin. And of William Wolfe, the father of Joy Weinrabe, and of Stephanie Nastel, the first cousin of Judy. We're saddened to announce the death, as I did earlier, of Mike Solomon, friend of many of ours. Also of Lily Schwartz, the mother of our member Yossi Shachar, the mother-in-law of Karen, and also of Rabbi Charles Wallach, who served last our community, I think, in Brighton, but in other communities in South Africa, I'm sure as well, who died in this past week as well. May God grant consolation to all of those who are in sorrow and light to those in darkness. Teach us at all times to put our trust in you and to praise your name as we do together over the page. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Bialma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agalau v'zman karib v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mavarach leolam ulalmei amaya. Yiparach v'ishtabach v'itpa'ah v'tromam v'itnasei. V'tada v'talei v'talal shemei d'kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirat. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran balma v'imru amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael. V'yal kol b'nei adam. V'imru amen. Please be seated. It's always a busy period. It's getting absolutely crackers again within the congregation. We have a fantastic event this Thursday. Rabbi Tony Bayfield is coming to speak to his new book, Being Jewish Today, Confronting the Real Issues That We Face. It'll be an amazing evening. Dad has set up. Dad, and was Tony in the year behind you at 2 years behind you at Learbeck College, and certainly I remember very much the family holidays we had when we were younger, and because we were rabbis' kids as well. Normally myself and the Bayfield kids, Ruth and myself and the Bayfield kids, were the only ones off sort of midweek Chagim, midweek festivals, And I remember very clearly journeys down to Weybridge, where Tony was the rabbi at that moment in time, and then having to wait to eat because we had to wait for them to come up to us on those kinds of occasions. We go back a long way. And I'm delighted that Tony's coming to launch his book here. And he's going to be in discussion also with our member Daniel Finkelstein, the Lord, and that one, not the Lord. And also Rabbi Alexander Wright, the senior rabbi at the Liberal Jewish Synagogue in St John's Wood as well. So it's going to be a brilliant evening. That's this Thursday evening at 7:30. So please do join us. Dad hosts that. There's also on this afternoon, if you wish, we're starting a new round of our Access to Judaism programme, A2J, learning more about our own Judaism. Please do join us afterwards. We always have a little bit of food together, so not too late to nip over the road if you need to get a sandwich and come and just enjoy being together and studying. It's the opportunity to really get to grips with things, sometimes the nuts and bolts of Judaism that we've either forgotten, never learnt in the first place, and hopefully will inform much of our learning. If you can't come today but fancy it in future, please do look out. There are monthly sessions after the services on Saturdays. There is loads else, but I'm going to stop at that point in time, otherwise I'll keep on nattering on. High Holy Day is coming up very, very soon. If you need any details, please do call into the office if you're unsure of any of the details. But for now, let us conclude with Ein Keloheinu on page 528. Eloheinu, Ein Kadoneinu, Ein Kamalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Amalkeinu, Mika Malkeinu, Mika Moshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Malkeinu, Vel Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adoneinu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adoneinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Please rise. As we have said the prayers of our ancestors, considered our place in the chain of tradition, may this service have brought into our hearts a renewed sense of your presence and the presence of ourselves in that wonderful generational chain. May we have been enriched, may we have been provoked, sometimes to considered contrariness, but always dialogue and conversation with each other. May all our intentions be for good, the same. Amen. Shabbat shalom to you all.
him